October 16, 2014, from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. It was Thursday night football, and it was the New York Jets at the New England Patriots. And the Patriots got the ball first, and they made short work of the Jets on the first drive as they went 80 yards in just 4 plays in less than a minute and a half. And Tom Brady hit Shane Vereen for a 49-yard touchdown pass that put the Pats in the lead 7-0 over the Jets. So now the Jets got the ball with about 13 and a half minutes left in the first. They ended up getting a field goal on their drive as they ate up 7 minutes of the clock, and they ended up stalling on the Patriots' 4-yard line. They couldn't get in the end zone, and Nick Folk came out to kick a 22-yarder, and it was now 7-3 Patriots over the Jets. So now the Pats got the ball back, and they went 3 and out, and they ended up punting the ball back to the Jets. The Jets had the ball on their own 25, and they brought it into New England territory when Geno Smith hit Eric Decker for a 24-yard pass on 2nd and 9 from the 39. So that brought it to the New England 37. Then a couple plays later, Chris Ivory brought it up towards the red zone with a 9-yard run on first down to put it on the New England 23. And then a few plays after that, it was 3rd and 19, and they ended up with an incomplete pass that would bring out Nick Folk as he kicked the 47-yarder. And it was good, and it was now a 1-point game with the score 7-6, New England over New York. So now the Patriots got the ball, and they brought the first quarter to a close. They had it on their own 9, and they opened up the second quarter on their own 12, and they ended up going 3 and out and putting the ball back to the Jets. So now the Jets had it with a little over 14 minutes left before halftime, and they had it on their own 40-yard line to start their drive. And they crossed midfield, but they wouldn't get that far, and they would end up having to settle for a field goal as Nick Folk came out to kick his 3rd field goal of the night, this one from 46 yards out, and that gave the Jets the lead for the first time in this game with the score now 9-7, Jets over the Patriots. So now the Patriots get the ball with less than 8 minutes left before halftime, and they had it on their own 20, and a false start brought them back to the 15, but then Brady hit Edelman for a 16-yard pass that gave him the first down and brought him out to the 31. Then a few plays later on 3rd and 7, Brady hit Gronkowski for a 16-yard pass that brought the ball up to the 50, and then Brady hit Brandon LaFell, for a 23-yard pass, and that made it first down on the 27. And then a few plays later, it was 2nd and 11 from the 11, and Brady hit Shane Vereen for an 8-yard pass, and that made it 3rd and 3, as it was 3rd and goal. And Brady ended up hitting Vereen for a 3-yard touchdown as Shane Vereen scored his 2nd touchdown of the evening, and it was now 14-9 Patriots over the Jets. So now the Jets had the ball with a little over 4 minutes left before halftime. They started off on the New England 41 after they ended up getting a 62-yard return by Powell. So Powell made quite the special teams play, and the Jets started off in Patriots territory as they were just out of field goal range. They ended up bringing it all the way up into the red zone and all the way to the New England 9, but their drive stalled, and Nick Folk came out to kick his 4th field goal of the first half, this one from 27 yards out, and it was now 14-12 as the Jets trailed the Patriots by 2 points. So now the Patriots got the ball with just a minute left before halftime. They had it on their own 26. They ended up picking up a first down. Then on 1st and 10 from the 36, Brady hit Gronkowski for a 20-yard pass that brought the ball across midfield. Then on 3rd and 10 from the Jets' 44-yard line, Brady ended up airing it out, and it ended up being a defensive pass interference call against the Jets, and that made a first down on the Jets' 12-yard line. Then after a couple incomplete passes, we had a unnecessary roughness call, and then that made it 3rd and 25 from the 27. And then the Patriots, after only picking up 6 yards, would have to have Gostkowski come out to kick a 39-yard field goal, and it was up and it was good, and now it was 17-12 as the first half came to a close. So going into halftime, the Patriots led the Jets by 5 points with the score New England 17, New York 12. Then in the third quarter, the Jets started things out, and they had the ball on their own 20. They brought it up towards midfield and then across midfield as Chris Ivory was picking up some big gains. He had a 16-yard run and a 13-yard run. And then on 3rd and 4 from the New England 38, Geno Smith hit Eric Decker for a 14-yard pass. And that brought the ball to the New England 24. Smith then fumbled, but he ended up recovering his own fumble. And so it was just a loss of 2 yards. Then an incomplete pass brought up 3rd and 12 from the 26, and Geno Smith hit Eric Decker for an 18-yard pass that made it 1st and goal from the 8. And then after a short pass to Ivory for 7 yards, Ivory ended up running up the middle for a 1-yard touchdown, and now the Jets were in the lead 19-17 as they took the 2-point lead over the Patriots. So now the Patriots would take over with about 9 minutes left in the third quarter. They had the ball on their own 29 to start their drive, and they brought the ball across midfield and into the Jets' territory, but they would only get a field goal, as that's all they were able to do. And Gostkowski came out and he kicked the 36-yarder, and the Patriots took back the lead by 1 point with the score 20-19, New England over New York. So now the Jets got the ball with a little over 4 minutes left in the third quarter. They did pick up first down, but then they ended up punting 4 plays later. So now New England took over, but they ended up going 3 and out. They were backed up against their own end zone on their own 13, and they ended up punting the ball to the Jets right before the close of the quarter. The Jets got 1 play off from their 29, a 4-yard run by Ivory, and that brought the third quarter to the close. So to start the fourth, it was a 1-point game with the Patriots in the lead, 20-19 over the Jets. The Jets had the ball on their own 33, but they would punt 3 plays later as they went 3 and out. And now the Patriots took back over on their own 34 with about 13 and a half minutes left in the game, and they went 3 and out. And so now the Jets got the ball backed up against their own end zone on their own 4-yard line with about 12 and a half minutes left in the fourth. And they ended up having to punt the ball, and the Patriots now would take over in Jets territory after the stop, and they had it on the Jets 46 with less than 11 minutes left to play, and they marched all the way down to the 27 after Brady hit Edelman for a 14-yard pass, and then on 1st and 10 from the 27, Brady hit Gronkowski, and he nearly scored as he had a 24-yard reception, and now it was 1st and goal from the 3. Vereen then lost the yard, so it was 2nd and goal from the 4, and then a false start brought it back, so it was now 2nd and goal from the 9, and then an offensive pass interference made it 2nd and goal from the 19, and then an incomplete pass made it 3rd and goal from the 19-yard line, and Tom Brady stepped up in the pocket, and he found Danny Amendola. As Amendola made an amazing play, Brady was on the run, and he hit Amendola as he spun around. He caught the ball, he did a twirl, and he landed in the end zone, and it was now 27-19 Patriots after the extra point from Gostkowski. So now the Patriots led by 8 points with less than 8 minutes left in this game. The Jets now were backed up against their own end zone on their own 14-yard line, and Michael Vick was in the game, and he got sacked as Ryan ended up sacking him, but it was defensive holding against Ryan. And so now it was a 5-yard penalty, and it was 1st down on the 19. The Jets ended up picking up a big play a couple of plays later when Geno Smith came back in and he hit Curley for a 16-yard pass, and it was now 1st down on the 40. The Jets then had it on the 48 for 3rd and 2, and then Smith scrambled for 6 yards to pick up a 1st down in New England territory. And then they marched down, and on 2nd and 5 from the 29, a few plays later, Chris Johnson ran for 15 yards to bring it into the red zone. So now it was 1st down on the New England 14, and an incomplete pass made it 2nd down on the 14. And Smith hit Ivory for a 4-yard pass, so now it was 3rd and 6 from the New England 10, and Geno Smith hit Jeff Cumberland for a 10-yard touchdown pass, and then they went for 2, but it failed, and so now, instead of a tie game with a 2-point conversion, it was 27-25 Patriots over the Jets as the Jets trailed by 2 points. So 1 point would have made it a 1-point game, but they went for the tie, and instead they were down by 2. So now the Patriots took over with a 2-point lead, and they had the ball on the Jets 46 because the Jets went for an onside kick. The Patriots recovered as Amendola jumped on it. And so now with 2.5 minutes, they were right there already in Jets territory, but they ended up going 3 and out, and they punted the ball back to the Jets. So now the Jets had the ball with about a minute left in this game. They had on their own 12-yard line, down by 2 points, and they needed a field goal to win. And earlier in the game, Nick Folk had showed that he could kick them from 50+ if necessary. Geno Smith hit Chris Johnson for an 8-yard pass to bring it out to the 20, so it was 2nd and 2 from the 20. And then they picked up 11 yards as Smith hit Johnson again to bring it out to the 31. Smith then spiked the ball, and on 2nd down, Smith then hit Nelson for an 11-yard pass, and now it was 1st down on the 42 of the Jets. Smith then hit Curley for a 13-yard pass, and that brought it across midfield to the New England 45. Smith then hit Ivory, and he went out of bounds after picking up 5 yards, so now it was 2nd and 5 from the 40, and an incomplete pass brought up 3rd and 5 from the 40, and they ended up with no time left. They only had 5 seconds on the clock, so they brought Nick Folk out to kick a 58-yarder, which is well within Nick Folk's distance, and he went back, he kicked the ball, and the Patriots blocked it. Chandler Jones gets the block, and the Patriots win this game with a field goal block on the final play, and they win by 2 points with the final score 27-25. And now on the season, the Patriots improved their record to 5-2. They're 3-0 at home, and the Jets fall to 1-6. They're 0-3 on the road. And in this game, Tom Brady was 20 for 37 with 261 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Geno Smith was 20 for 34 with 226 passing yards and a touchdown. He also ran for 37 yards off of 7 carries. The leading rusher in this game was Chris Ivory with 21 carries for 107 yards and a touchdown. Shane Vereen had 11 carries for 43 rushing yards. He also had 5 receptions for 71 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Gronkowski had 68 yards off of 5 receptions, and Eric Decker had 65 yards off of 4 receptions. And on defense, the leading tacklers, it was a tie between Collins and Hightower. The Patriots, they both had 13 tackles. Hightower also had a sack. Walker had a sack. Jones had a sack, and that was 3 sacks for the Patriots. The Jets had 1 sack, and that was Harris, who had their sack. Pryor had 8 tackles to be the Jets' leading tackler. And there were no interceptions in this game as both quarterbacks took care of the ball. And it was a tight game on Thursday Night Football primetime from a nationwide audience, simulcast on CBS and the NFL Network. And the Patriots win this one 27-25 over the Jets. And that's the final score.